Hey everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about No Country for Old Men, written by Cormac McCarthy, both the film and the novel. So, in this review, I'm going to be talking specifically about the topic of morality. And included in this grander concept of morality, we're going to be talking about ethics, fate, free will, and particularly I'm going to focus on the main three characters of this story: Sheriff Bell, Elwyn Moss, and Anton Chigurh, and the way each of these has their own set of ethics. However, they're all very, very different in the way they apply them. So this first scene is between Anton Chigurh and the gas station clerk, and I chose this because I think it's very close to the novel in the film, um, as well as I think it is a good summary of Chigurh's personality and his view of fate, chance, and his blunt honesty, if you will. So I'm going to start by reading the passage. We lived in Temple, Texas for many years, raised a family there in Temple. We come out here for about 4 years ago. You married into it, if that's the way you want to put it. I don't have some way to put it. That's the way it is. So that opening part between Chigurh and the gas station clerk, I think is funny because that line, I don't have some way to put it, that's the way it is. You know, Anton Chigurh is this very black and white character, and I think that passage kind of shows that. It goes on to talk about Chigurh's famous coin flip and whether or not the person's going to die, essentially. Call it. Yes? For what? Just call it. Well, I need to know what it is we're calling here. How would that change anything? The man looked at Chigurh's eyes for the first time, blue as lapis, at once glistening and totally opaque, like wet stones. You need to call it, Chigurh said. I can't call it for you. It wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't even be right. Just call it. So I think that's interesting that here Chigurh's fully comfortable with killing this man on a 50-50 coin flip, but he says, I can't call it for you. It wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't even be right. Just call it. All right, now I'm going to play the clip for you from the movie. And I think you'll find that while the language is not exactly the same, the principle is quite similar.
What time do you go to bed, sir? You're a bit deaf, aren't you? I said, what time do you go to bed? Somewhere around 9:30. I'd say around 9:30. I could come back then. Why would you be coming back? We'll be closed. Yeah, you said that. Well, I got to close now. Leaving that house, I'll back.
So that speech that he just went into a few moments ago, saying you stand to lose everything, is interesting because that was not in the original text in the novel. That whole piece talking about what's the date on the coin, it's been traveling its entire life to get here. That's not in the novel. However, this is, and I think this is an interesting piece. Anything can be an instrument, Sugar said. Small things, things you wouldn't even notice. They pass from hand to hand. People don't pay attention. Then one day there's an accounting. And after that, nothing is the same. Well, you say it's just a coin, for instance. Nothing special there. What could that be an instrument of? You see the problem? To separate the act from the thing, as if the parts of some moment in history might be interchangeable with the parts of some other moment? How could that be? Well, it's just a coin, yes. That's true. Is it? So these two readings and then this film scene are a perfect example of Shakur's deeply philosophical view of the world and how oriented he is with fate and chance. All right, the next character I'm going to be talking about is Sheriff Ed Tom Bell, who is a Vietnam War veteran and is an individual who is deeply concerned with duty and obligation to the law. I think that's one of the ways that he gets through, a lot of the atrocities that he's seen and that he continues to see through this movie is through his focus on serving the people that he is committed to protect. So on page 131, there's a good passage that I think explains Bell's sense of duty and honor. When he's talking to Moss's wife, she says, "Do you really care about your husband?" "About my husband, yes." "Yes, ma'am, I do. The people of Terrell County hired me to look after him. That's my job. I get paid to be the first one hurt, killed for that matter. I'd better care." He goes on to say, "I ain't making up a word about the kind of trouble he's in. If he gets killed, then I got to live with that. But I can do it. I just want to think about if you can." I think that's a really good passage to explain Bell. During this film, he doesn't seem to be particularly tender in any way, but he is a man who's honest, hardworking, and is deeply, deeply rooted in duty. And I think in this scene with his secretary, you see that as well.
Must check.
That DEA agent called again. You don't want to talk to him?
Gonna try to keep from it much as I can.
He's going back out there. Wanted to know if you wanted to go with him.
That's cordial of you. Can I get you to call Loretta for me? Tell her I'm going to Odessa to see Carla Jean Moss.
Yes, Sheriff?
I'll call her when I get there. I'll call her now, but she won't me to come home. It's just mine.
Do you want me to wait till you quit the building?
Uh-huh. You don't want to lie without what is absolutely necessary. What is it Torbert says about truth and justice?
Oh, we dedicate ourselves daily anew. Something like that.
I'm going to commence dedicating myself twice daily. Might come to 3 times before it's over with.
All right, so this last segment is going to talk about Elwyn Moss. My favorite quote from Elwyn is on page 227. And Elwyn is a unique character because he's rough, he's very honest, he's grounded, and he's kind of a loner. I think that Moss grounds himself in the principles of honesty, freedom, and originality. His reluctance to seek help is a clear example of this cowboy exercising his free will. And I think this quote speaks to that as well. "No, I mean what you said about knowing where you are." He looked at her. After a while, he said, "It's not about knowing where you are. It's about thinking you got there without taking anything with you. Your notions about starting over are anybody's. You don't start over. That's what it's about. Every step you take is forever. You can't make it go away. None of it. You understand what I'm saying?" I think this is a clear quote that talks about Elwyn's experiences in the war and finding this money. He's not going to erase them. They're his to own. And that's exactly what he's going to do. This clip talking about his wife escaping with the money, I think is a good example of Elwin's selflessness. You know, he's going to protect his wife and do the best that he can, but he still seems hard-headed because he won't seek out help from clearly a man that's very dangerous.
Llewellyn,
Hey, you.
what should I do?
Know what's going on?
I don't know. I had the sheriff here from Terrell County.
What'd you tell him?
What did I know to tell him? You're hurt, ain't you?
What makes you say that?
I can hear it in your voice.
Well, look, I want you to meet me at the Desert Sands Motel in El Paso. Because I'm going to give you the money. I'm going to put you on a plane.
Llewellyn, I ain't gonna leave you in the lurch.
No, look, this works better. Look, with you gone and I don't have the money, you can't touch me, but I can sure touch him. And after I find him, I'll come and join you.
Find who? What am I supposed to do with Mother?
No, she'll be all right.
She'll be all right.
All right, guys. I think that's a really good synopsis of all three of the characters and the way that morality comes into play in each instance. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for listening.